I hate to say so that recently a lot has been brought to my attention about the YouTube copyright system. For the longest time, I've known that the YouTube copyright system is not the best, and it's probably not the worst, but I've actually come to realize that it may actually be the worst. So, over my career, I have had flags, not necessarily flags or strikes, but the content scanner for some of my videos has brought up copyrighted content. But it's not the copyrighted content you'd think. Because take example of my Star Wars videos, such as me playing Star Wars Empire at War, the events I uploaded from my Age of the Republic Gary's Mod roleplay server. Those make sense because those are actual scores performed by orchestras, performed by bands, performed by, massively talented artists. But I've also had flags on videos that use actual game soundtrack. Which, of course, one of those is Star Wars Empire at War. The sound, certain songs in Empire at War are not ever heard in the movies or TV shows. They were made specifically for the game. And another example of this is something like Team Fortress 2. I have not had a single strike in anything I have played Team Fortress 2 with. And the same thing goes with Left 4 Dead 2. I have played Left 4 Dead 2 100 times. And I have a lot of the past streams on my YouTube channel where I used to where I would stream and record the gameplay as it happened. And one of my stopping grounds in Left 4 Dead 2 is, of course, Dark Carnival, where music is the big thing about that campaign. And not once have I ever gotten a copyright alert from the Valve Symphony Orchestra because they used the Midnight Riders songs. And that's where they were created, the Valve Symphony Orchestra. It's what made the Team Fortress soundtrack, it's what made the Half-Life soundtrack, it's probably what made the Counter-Strike soundtrack. And another game that was flagged for having copyrighted content is Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum and Arkham Origins have copyrighted soundtracks for some reason. Which, in a way, I understand needing to copyright the soundtrack because someone can claim rights to it, but at the same time, content creators can get in trouble for that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, I almost did get in trouble for it a few years ago when I had my original run of Cry of Fear. uh, Andrus Ronberg, the lead developer for Cry of Fear, he had his YouTube channel hijacked, and the hijacker renamed the Ghost OST from the Memories soundtrack into a completely different song. And he was going around flagging videos that used that song. No, it wasn't Ghost because that was actually the Memory soundtrack. It was the introduction song for the game that plays in the opening cutscene. Since then, Andrus Ronberg has fixed the issue, and I no longer have that on my channel, which I am thankful for because I am recently redoing Cry of Fear, and as I looked, I didn't have a flag on that. Thank God. But it was brought to my attention because YouTuber I watch, RadBrad, on YouTube, I've been watching him for a long time, but to see that that he's being targeted by the copyright system is absolute bonk. Specifically, the soundtrack for Final Fantasy VII Remake. The soundtrack is being copyrighted. And if we're living in an age where a game's soundtrack needs to be copyrighted, then there needs to be some fixes or some changes gone and done. Because on the screen now, you see videos that have copyright strikes on the game's soundtrack. And the big one is Sonic Generations. Notice that it says Green Hill Zone. Last time I checked, Sega mainly had the exclusive rights to Green Hill Zone. So who is going around claiming that they own the Green Hill Zone track? What you're not seeing is another copyright for Sonic Generations where it's What I'm Made Of, which of course was performed by Crush 40, and they actually own the rights to that song because they performed it. Which that I'm not mad about. But if you're able to claim that you own Green Hill Zone, then yeah, there's a big problem there. There is a huge problem there, and it needs to be addressed. I don't care how or when, but it needs to be addressed somehow. I have seen countless and countless YouTubers and content creators be attacked by the absolute bonk that is the YouTube copyright system. It does not need to be this difficult and this much of a roll of the die. Matter of fact, on Twitter the other day, and yes, I am still calling it Twitter, you can go fuck yourselves. There has been someone going after a specific creator and copyright striking their channel, even though they own none of the content. Which, last time I checked, that's essentially harassment, and that is online harassment. Because you don't get to just go into someone's livelihood and just say, I own this. Just because you don't like them. I am lucky enough to still be such a small channel where I have not had any strikes, because to be honest, I am doing everything in my power to make sure that the videos I put out have enough quality to where people actually like watching them. One of the big issues, though, is that some of the games I play, they have actual copyrighted songs that the copyright owners actually want to reinstate copyrights for. Because some of those people are actually still living and breathing. One example is what's not on the screen is me playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, everyone knows that the songs in that game are amazing, and that's because they're actual songs performed by real bands, and those songs are, of course, copyrighted. And some of those videos I cannot show because they're copyrighted and they're blocked in certain countries. Which, of course, sucks, but I mean, what are you gonna do? What do you want me to do? Should I just go in and just mute the songs? Like, why would I do that? That wasn't the purpose of me playing the game. Like, it's not like I'm playing the game to pirate these songs, which of course you can't do because those songs are actually hidden within the code. The only things you can do with San Andreas is put in your own songs through the user files. And of course, Some Ordinary Gamers, Mutahar, he also covered this topic. where people are just simply abusing the copyright system because they want in on what people are making over they are. Which, of course, I'm not making any money yet. I'm not even a YouTube partner. I'm not even at 200 subscribers yet. As of recording this video, I am not at 200 subscribers. Which is why I am trying to push out quantity over quality, while also trying to keep quality a factor in what I upload. Because I put a lot of heart and soul into the content that I push out, even though it may not look that way. Especially since recently I've been uploading videos without commentary. That's because I feel like me putting my commentary is useless because I've already seen what happens. I do not see a purpose in making commentary to stuff I've already seen, if people aren't there to actually witness it with me, for me to give commentary on. It's like I'm watching a reaction video that I've already seen a reaction to, or that I've already seen a video of. I know that's a little bit of a vague comparison, but, and of course it's slightly off topic, but it's absolutely absurd that people are using the copyright system on YouTube under their noses because the copyright moderation is just a computer. It's not an actual human being, which is interesting considering that Google is in a lot of hot shit because they're in a suit right now, which of course so is Valve. But I'm pretty sure that Valve knows the difference between what's a real copyright and what's absolute bonk. Because they know they can't get away with copyrighting any of the game's OST. Because they created it, and they created it for people to play. It's not like you have people going and... It's not like you have people pirating a Nintendo song. Because I can bet you that if anyone were to actually play Mario all the way through on YouTube, like one of the newer games, you would have Nintendo copyrighting the footage. Because that's what the state of Nintendo is. At this point, the only real company left is Valve, which is hard to say, considering how interesting they treat their community and their consumers. And another downside to everything is the fact that if I actually do get up there with some of the major creators, I'll be in trouble if I end up with someone very stingy enough to flag my content that they know to a T is not theirs. So I say this to everyone, including my good friend Mr. Kafwaffles over on his channel. If you ever get hit with something like that, lawyer up and find out who it is that is harassing you. Because if you win in court, that is something that you can pin on your wall and say that I beat a dickhead. And rightfully so, because you need to show people that you're not a pushover and that you rightfully own the content that you are putting your heart and soul into. And for those boobs at YouTube that actually can slightly give a damn, you need to fix the copyright system. You need to update the copyright system. You need to manage the copyright system. You need to monitor the copyright system. You need to do everything for the copyright system that you are not doing. And you don't care because it costs money. When you are such a big monopoly that you are, when you own so many websites and you give out so many live services, you need to have sacrifices. Because at this point, you won't have that many people left to suck the blood from. Anyway, I digress. this video is going to go way too long. So anyway, everyone, this has been Nightside Productions, and this is an absolute tragedy. Make sure to stay tuned for whatever video I have coming in the next few days. Thank you all. Thank you so much for watching. And YouTube, get your shit together.